Good morning. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. I spoke early this week about the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer, counting the Omer. Today is the 27th day of the Omer. And I'd like to share a deeper insight that comes from the Psukim. The mitzvah of the Omer is in our parsha this week. And the Torah says as follows. Hashem says to Moshe, Dabel b'nei Yisrael v'amar lehem, speak to the entire Jewish people and tell them, Ki savo la'aretz, asher ani nosein lachem, when you come into the land of Israel that I'm going to give to you, u'ktsartem es ksira, and you harvest your crop, ve'vesem es omer reishis skitzirchem el hakohen. You should bring an omer. An omer is a measurement. The word omer means measurement, and counting the omer means counting the days from the first day this offering of an omer was offered, which is the second day of Pesach. So, but the word omer means measurement, so it's an amount. So you take an amount, let's say a basketful, whatever the exact size is, of the first crop, and you bring it to the Kohen. You bring it to the Kohen, and the Kohen will wave the omer in front of Hashem in the Beis Hamikdash, and v'asisa b'yom hanichem as omer kevesh tamim ben shnaso lo lo Hashem. And on the day that you bring this omer, which is the second day of Pesach, in Israel, of course, that's the first day of Chol HaMoed Pesach. You bring a carbon of one unblemished lamb in its first year, a 1-year-old unblemished lamb, one lamb. So then, I told you, there is another carbon that is offered on Shavuos that also is the first of that crop. And the counting of the Omer means counting from the day that you brought the first Omer until the day that you bring the special offering on Shavuos, which is counting 49 days. We call it counting the Omer. We use the term Sfira, which means counting, or we refer to the Omer. There's a great commentator in the 1300s in Germany, Rav Menachem Tzioni, and he wrote a work of commentary that's known to us as the Tzioni, very important commentary. And he points out the following insight. He says, within Jewish life, within mitzvos, there are many, many mitzvos that relate to something that is the first. There is Bikurim, which is the mitzvah around Shavuos time, which is the first fruits. There's the mitzvah of taking the first of the grain and the wine and the vineyards and the olive oil and bringing that to the Kohen. That's Truma. And then there's a mitzvah of giving the first of the shearling annually is given to the Kohen, and the firstborn of certain animals is given to the Kohen, and even the firstborn of a person is considered special and dedicated to service to Hashem, unless there's a pidyon haben, a redemption that allows that firstborn to then be a regular member of society. But there are lots of firsts. And usually when we think about this idea that there's something special about the first, that it's either has a higher status, a higher spiritual status, or it's given to Hashem as a carbon, or it's given to the Kohen who serves Hashem. So either we think about it in terms of the first is the best, it represents the best, the most beautiful, and therefore we offer the best to Hashem. Another way to think of it that comes specifically in the Parsha of Bo that relates to Pidyon Haben is the first seems to be a statement of gratitude to Hashem for the fact that the Jewish people were not harmed in the plague of Makas Bechoros, the plague of the firstborn. Because in Egypt, Makas Bechoros, all the firstborn were killed, but not the firstborn of the Jews, of course. And therefore, there's a sense of gratitude that every firstborn owes their life to Hashem for being saved when all the other firstborn were killed. And therefore, there's something special about firstborn. And and therefore this idea of firstborn has to do with hakaras hatov, with gratitude. I want to share with you what the Tzioni says. It's a little deeper, a little bit more mystical. I think it provides a fascinating insight. The truth is that the only true first is God. God preceded all things. God is eternal, not only going forward, but also going backward. Usually when we use the term eternal, we think it's going to last forever. God is eternal. God will last forever. But eternal also means has existed for all time. It is eternal going backwards like it's eternal going forwards. And therefore, the only real first is God. God is the only one who actually is literally, really a first. And therefore, all of the firsts that we talk about, all of the firsts in life, in our human life, they are pseudo firsts. They are not really first. They're the human understanding of what first is from our human point of view, but we always have to recognize that they are never the actual first, the real first. That will always be God. And therefore, in order to demonstrate that we realize this, we give up the first. We offer it to God. We offer it as a sacrifice to those who serve God. And by doing so, we demonstrate that we understand that it is only God that is really first. And this which seems like it's first to me, it seems like it's the first fruit, it seems like it's the first harvest, it seems like it's the first born, etc. It's not really the firstborn. We give it to God in order to demonstrate that it is only God that is the true first. And that's the reason Tzioni says that this practice of the first crop, which is demonstrating the same thing, also has with it a carbon, which is a single animal. One, just one sheep. Again, to drive home this point, don't think that your first crop is the real first. It's the human first. It's the pseudo first. But always remember, the real first is God. That's why there's one carbon, because one also is only in our human understanding. The only actual one is God. And we want to remember, by dedicating, by giving, by sacrificing, we want to remember this reality that it is only God. We have a perception of human first, but it is only God that is one and that is first. So please keep that in mind as we continue through this mitzvah of counting the Omer, and we hope that this mitzvah, along with the other mitzvahs, will bring us closer to the only first and the only one, to God. I wish you all a great day.